Okay. Hello and welcome in, everyone. My name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be making a half-lap picture frame because I bought this wood magazine from the Milwaukee Free Public Library when I was in Milwaukee land, and it's like, hey, look, here's all these cool ways you can do picture frames that does not involve using miters. These are no mitered picture frames. So I'm a big fan of trying new things, and also I haven't really done picture frames before. So, and I'm also allergic to using my miter saw, and I need to fix that. But hey, I have a lot of things I need to fix, but we're gonna go ahead and start with the thirst right now. So we're kicking today off with good old Paw Paw L8 because I have it. It is delicious. I was actually reading on the back of the label that they actually partnered with Eastern Kentucky University to make the Paw Paw L8 because Eastern Kentucky University is the only university in the entire country, well, actually the world, that has a Paw Paw research program. So I love that to pieces because it's so incredibly Kentucky. So first task, I have oak. This is actually S4S oak. S4S meaning it's surfaced on four sides. So it's basically lumber ready to go. You don't have to mill it. You don't have to plane it. You don't have to joint it. It's just lumber. It's ready to go. This has been sitting on the shelf for a long time for me. Well, a long time, a while. So, first task is I need to take this one board and I need to turn it into two boards. And I'm going to have to do that with a rip cut down the center of the board. So, my first task is to find center on board. So, this is 5.5 inches across. So, to divide this in half, I'm also using the cardboard to kind of keep the board a little bit more, trying to keep it from not getting like too tore up. So I'm gonna go down here to my gauge. Hello, Sugi. How was your week? My week has generally been good. There is a noticeable exception to that, and that is I think I've gotten an eye infection in one of my eyelids. Like I have like a puffy spot under my right eye, and reading things digitally is kind of hard, and it's been like kind of irritating, but it's not been like terribly bad, so I just been tolerating it. Oh, with our board at 5.5 inches, our dividing will be 2 3/4, ideally. Now, there is a little bit of accounting for the kerf of the blade, because with the kerf of the blade, we will lose some material. Oh, that's not good. Stop putting infections in your eye. I don't like having infections in my eye. Funny enough, I think this is actually one of the longer ones I've had. Because I think in the past, they've generally went away in like 2 or 3 days or something like that. Like, I know like pink eye is a thing. I've never had pink eye in my entire life. So that's been a bullet I've dodged. And it just seems like I've been dodging bullets for too long, and now I just gotta bite the bullet. So that's gonna be 2 3/4. I am going to go a touch less than 2 3/4. And that touch less is to kind of make up for the difference in the thickness. Well, what the blade's kerf will take. Weird, my eyes are green. Never knew someone could have pink eyes. Is that a Tumblr thing? Oh no, pink eye is actually a disease you can catch. There's a very famous episode of a cartoon from my childhood called Codename Kids Next Door. And in that episode, the K and D have to investigate pink eye. And they find out that the adults are infecting kids with pink eye because when you get pink eye, you build up a lot of crust on your eyeballs. Basically, you get like really nasty case of like the sleep burgers. Well, the sleep crud. It gets. Oh, there's reasons why this episode's controversial. It gets worse because they harvest the crust from the kids' eyes to use as the crust topping in pies. And then people wonder why millennials are so messed up, and that's like the cartoons we live with. I think that was actually probably like one of the worst K&D episodes. Oh, wait. Oh, I need to actually grab some scrap lumber. From my scrap shelf. Let's see. There. Oh, why I need the scrap lumber? Well, this board is very big and I'm glad it was a SpongeBob kid. Ari, I remember watching SpongeBob as it first aired. Like the very first instance of SpongeBob. It was good times, really good times. So, this board is essentially the same board as this one. So, what I'm doing here is I'm using it to set my feather board. What the feather board does... Do you remember when they first invented television? Hey, now, I'm no boomer. Well, actually, I think that's technically silent generation. Okay, cool. It touches all the feathers of the featherboard. So the featherboard applies pressure in this direction. Keeps the board against the fence. We do want pressure against the fence. Also, the reason why this looks different is this is a, what sort of finish did I put? Yeah, I think I put a polyurethane finish on that. That was for the CD shelf build. That I did, okay. So we got the featherboard set up. I do have my handy dandy push stick here. I now have to find my gripper. So my gripper is my device that pushes, I use to push boards through. So, oh, that's why it's hidden. Okay. And I'm just doing this to see where my blade sets. Polyurethane. Yes. Oh, I see you're also cultured in chemicals. Okay. So I have all my various shenanigans ready. So, since there has been complaints about the noise of the table saw coon, I will be muting my mic while I make this rip cut, so if I remember how to mute the mic. Oh wait, no. Ooh. Oh wait, that was not the mute button. How do I do this again? Because I want to figure out, you know, a table saw could work as a bad cheese grater. Irie, don't be giving me ideas. We back. And I'm covered in wood dust. Noises aren't even that loud. Cats don't give a crap about it. Yeah, but Irie, you've bugged Andrew with the tool noises in the past. I know. Can't be having you bug Andrew with the tool noises. Okay, so release fence. We'll release featherboard because I think we're pretty much done with featherboard. Really don't need a lot of featherboard action. So now we get to see if I actually did this right. So ooh. I will say, really dang close. Really darn close. Oh gosh. That's good. That's some good oak right there. Okay, cool. So, I have... Now, this is actually a good size for like a picture frame, you know? Well, this is actually a poster frame. So we're going to be setting those over behind me for now because we have two other materials to dimension. And that is good old paperboard coon and acrylic coon. So we have these two materials that we will need to dimension. Now, actually, I haven't even shown off the poster yet. Okay. So this is what we're making up. This is what we're doing a poster for. So, sucks. I forget how long ago I got this. So, VTube Studio, like the actual like maker of the app that lets my model do the wigglies, they actually did a merch drop with Woo Woo Market, and part of that merch drop was this poster. And I've actually been having this poster sitting on my bedroom closet floor, so it could just be like rolled out and like flat and stay flat and all that good stuff. This is what we're making a poster of. So this is 18 inches top to bottom and then 12 inches side to side. So this is what we're going to be putting in our frame. So this is fiberboard. This is a wonderful material. I actually originally purchased the material here for when I did the CD shelf project. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this big piece and make it smaller. So it should be pretty straightforward. And also the fun thing with fiberboard is it cuts like super easy. It cuts terribly easy because I mean, like, look, it's fiberboard. It's nothing. Which this is also going to be the back panel. So we're going to be building. So a picture frame is a frame, and then you have either a glass or acrylic. We're using acrylic today. So acrylic's going to be like essentially the front-facing piece because we want to look at our poster. And then the backing piece is going to be this material. So, since our board... Chat disconnected. Please wait while we reconnect you. Oh no. Okay. Let's see here. So, let's see here. So, essentially within this wider frame, they're going to be... Oh man, am I having internet issues? Granted, I have actually never had a chat disconnected error. That's a new one. That is indeed a new one. So, we've got... I'm trying to just think a little bit here, because if I do 12.5 inches, that gives me a 1/4 inch of play on either side. So I want this to cover essentially what will be the whole of the frame. So, terrible sketchy board that I do terrible sketchy board drawings on. Oh. Our frame, like, be like that. So, okay, well, OBS is having fun. So, our internal space can be 12 by 18, but we want the acrylic and we want the paperboard, we want that to be a little bit bigger. Because the frame is going to get a rabbit, and the rabbit is what's going to hold this and the acrylic in its frame. So I think going 12.5 for the acrylic and the paperboard backing will be the way to go. So, let me grab my paperboard. And since you guys said you don't mind table saws noises, you're gonna get table saw noises. But, oh wait. I should probably bring the blade down a bit more. Primarily because I'm cutting thinner material. Nah. That's our not work piece. That's gonna get tucked off to the side. And then this should, well, actually I didn't measure. Whoops. Hot dog, it's 12.5, great. So, that gets put off in the workpiece pile. So that is fiberboard. Next up is our acrylic sheet. So the acrylic has this backing material on both front and back. That's why you can't, like, it doesn't like look see-through or anything, but that's just to protect it in shipping. And oh wait. Okay, if chat's connecting and disconnecting this badly, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do a thing here. Just see how... Okay. So everything... Okay, nothing... It doesn't look like anything's too crazy is going on. Okay. So, acrylic. Now, the very fun thing about the fence is I can just set the distance and rip stuff, so... Makes my life easy. Woo! Oh, great. So I was actually vaguely considering the idea of not doing what I've just done. Oh gosh, what's wrong with chat? If this keeps acting up, I might... Okay, so... People can see it on that side of the world. Okay, so they know... So at least you guys know there's probably, like, hiccups. Oh. So our material is now dimensioned in one dimension. Now we have to dimension this in the other dimension. unfortunately, this makes things a... Well... do I want to do that? Yeah. I really do want to use the fence for the next cut. So... here we go. So let me find our 18.5 inches. Now, normally... yeah. So, I do have an issue. And this is all. This is why you always want to, like, pre kind of feel the cut. My material is actually slipping underneath the fence over here in the far corner. That's no buenos. That's very no buenos. So, I'm going to have to not use the fence for this cut. I'm going to have to use the miter gauge. Should be fine. My only issue... The thing I dislike about using the miter gauge... is I'm going to have to actually measure now. Oh, gosh. Seems to be acting up really badly. I never had, like, chat disconnecting errors before. Or at least not to this extent. Do I need to worry about this? Right now, we're successfully connected. Honestly, I'm going to do... let's... ooh. Okay. Okay, so if chat does happen, I can at least see it on OBS. Okay. I'm gonna keep rolling with these cuts I need to make, and then then I might have to play tech troubleshooter. But we'll see. We'll see. So. And this is another reason why I don't like using the miter gauge, is usually my material has to be back here, and I can't really have my miter gauge where I want it exactly. So I want this material to be 18.5 inches across. Okay. Mark. Eighteen and a half there. Then we'll do 18.5 down here. Just because I want a mark top and bottom. So. Oh, our work side is going to be on this side of the blade, whereas our offcut is going to be this side of the blade. So, just looking reasonables. So, that's an off. And now here's our here's our workpiece. So, a little bit nervous with how all that went. I want to double check and see how this turned out. So it looks like I am... So, I did end up being a touch long bit off my marks, but that's honestly fine. Because when I cut the rabbits later, I can actually be a little bit aggressive with them, and it's a design change I can really just live with. I can live with that. Here. Oh, hey, Dusty, how you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. As you brew beer, that's cool. So beer brewing was actually my first hobby I picked up. In my process and going through life and picking up creative hobbies, beer brewing was the first one I picked up. So, feel pretty good. Let's send it. There we go. So that's our fiberboard. Fiberboard 1, miter gauge comes back. Yay! And there we go. So that is going to be our backing board for the picture frame. Granted, I'll probably actually be using the... Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, how do I wish to move forward from here? I think it's probably going to come down to good old cutting our ripped oak wood to size. Now my question is how I want to go about it. Because I have very long sticks of oak. Actually, let's keep our project pieces in something resembling some manner of organization. Which seems to be forever my biggest challenge. Actually, you go to the utility cart. Because that's essentially where everything gets parked when I'm working on something. Reasonable bit of room. We're gonna pull you guys over to this side of the world. Now, I want... Hello, speed square. And pencil. So, we're going to be building essentially a 18 inch by 12 inch frame. That's going to be the inner frame. So, but what's going to determine the full length of my boards is going to be those measurements plus the thickness of this board here. So for the 12 inch ones, I'm going to want to add, I'm going to want to add double this length. So this is a touch lower than 12 3/4. Yeah, 12 3/4, because originally this was 5.5. We ripped it down because this is a lot more reasonable of a thickness of material for a picture frame. And now I have to figure out my eventual the actual length I want for the boards, because this is math. It's math. It's really bad math, because I lost my saw blade's kerf and thickness. Otherwise, my math would have been really easy. It would have been 5.5 inches, but I need a little bit less than 5.5 inches. So actually, you know what? That framing saved my butt. Okay, cool. This makes it easy. So the length of my boards, I'm just gonna take an 1/8 off. So for the 18, we're gonna do 5. Yeah, we're gonna do 5 3/8. So we'll just take an 1/8 off, and that should get us really dang close. I don't know, seems like the most reasonable thing to do. So we're gonna want these boards to be 23 3/8. And then for the 12-inch ones, we're gonna want 17 3/8. So once again, terrible drawing. Really terrible drawing. But having things written down makes them referenceable later, and that is like the perennial thing of fiddling around in the shop, is having references you can go back to later is amazing. So I need 23 3/8. That falls. That gets me a mark. And then I set my board off to the side. Put that there. Now I gotta find my Nikita-kun. Okay. I sketched all my projects. It helps identify problems before there are problems. I wish I was that good at drawing. Granted, I also presume you're probably using something like SketchUp. So, I'm going to add that cardboard because I have S4S lumber and I want to keep it somewhat nice. I'm going to... Nah, just pencil. Oh man. Doing things the nice way. Granted, I'm from Kentucky, so I am okay doing it the redneck way. Over. Woo! Okay. Yay! Wow, I was actually gonna need all my sizes. I didn't think I was gonna need... Actually, will I be able to do this project with just this slipped board? Depends. Work. Then we get distracted. Maybe? If so, just barely. Like, literally just barely. Oh, that exciting moment when when the board just teeter-totters on the edge. Okay. Yeah. I'll just grab that and set it off to the side, so that way the lumber doesn't fall on itself. Okay. Here. Oh, wow. I do love how much the circular saw makes really clean cuts. Like, very clean cuts. Which is very nice. It's very nice. But sometimes the table saw makes rougher cuts. So, for these I want 17 3/8. So we get 17 3/8. And there we go. Why do I keep putting that over there? Whoop. So that's gonna end up being a scrap material. So I'm gonna let that hit the floor. Versus my workpiece. Aha! So that gets us 3 out of our 4 pieces. Now let's grab the other half of that board. I actually have more of this S4S oak. Because I do want to do a few frames with the cedar wood I have, because I just have so much cedar lying around. But I will definitely be using this oak in other projects. So, 17 8 touch plus. Ba, 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 ba. One good clean line. And that should be our final piece. That's exciting. One of my pieces is a touch bigger than the other one. By 1/8. Yep. So, right now that's kind of the margin of error on those. Let's see what we have on our other two. And the other two are so much better. Like, I'm not going to mess with that. Now, for these guys, I might want to cut that down just a touch, but I'm going to see what my shorter board is. Hmm. I think I'm gonna take just one blade's width of material off that one. Just to get it closer to where the other one is. I think the depth adjuster got hung up on the speed square. So we'll do this number. That might have been pretty botched. Because that was twisting on me. That was twisting really badly on me. I should just probably have left it long. That is probably what I should have done. But whatever. So I gotta address that little bit. And honestly, I wanted to use, like, if I ever have to cut like a real small amount of material, yeah, I get the pull saw. Now, it's like, it's not the best tool. For this, because this material is oak, and pull saws are better for softer materials, softwoods. But cut it, it will. Okay. Well, that is at least the pieces cut. Man, just have too many places to stick stuff and not enough places to lay them. So the next part of the project for these and these guys is I now gotta set up the dado stack. Ooh, I did not grab the dado insert. One dado insert later. Woo! Okay. Okay. Good, I'm not losing drop frames. Now, I do... Yep, there they are. So, when you play with your table saw, always disconnect power. I have yet to get a boo-boo from a table saw, and I am 100% on team. I do not want to have a boo-boo from a table saw. So I'm going to be bringing the blade up. Purpose of the blade is to make it easier for me to access. You have a saw stop, like a, oh gosh, like a saw stop saw. I don't know. I don't think there's any saw stop features that you can add on pre-existing table saws. Oh wait, wrong end. But who knows, maybe one of these days I might get a saw stop. I don't... As long as I'm working in this shop, I am not going to be investing in cabinet saw technology just because cabinet saws are too big. I don't have the room for that much saw. I also don't need that much table saw for most of my projects. So, blades out. And now, here is the singular dumbest decision I have made as a woodworker. And that is thinking that because I had 10 inches of table saw, I needed 10 inches of dado stack. I was big dumb when I purchased this. But I have it and I'm going to use it until it's dead. Which, knowing my current rate of use, it's going to be a while. Be a long while. Hey, project pieces hanging out over there. And I'm going to check, because I really need to think about how much I want to cut. Because I definitely want to do a whole bunch of light passes for when I'm actually doing like the half laps. But for the inner rabbit that all these boards are going to get, well, actually the rabbit's also going to, there's going to be a little bit of variability where that rabbit also goes. But I'm going to worry about that later, but I now need to figure out how thick I want to set my dado stack up for. And really, I think 1/2 inch will be fine. Or, ooh, wait, I got 7/16. Yeah, because I actually really like the idea of being a bit more than 3/8. So, well, yeah, let's do 7/16. That seems quite reasonable. And there's the blade shims. Now, where do the blade shims go? In the assembly. Oh, it said in Magic Instructions. Oh no. The blade shims. The blade shims told me where they went. I thought there was. Yes. Yes. There it is. Magic information. So I now have a vision of how I wish to build this dado stack. So we do blade, followed up by shim. Get that nice and tight. We'll do, so we're gonna be, for 7/16, we'll do 1/8 inch chipper, and then I have to get my 16th out, which Of course I buried it. Which means I have to get all the other chippers out. And there we go. So for the chippers, I think it wants me to position the teeth in between the cullets of the saw, which the cullets are like the blank space. So like the empty space between the teeth, those are the cullets. Those are where, when this thing cuts wood, that is where the wood chips go. Okay, so I want next up is you. And then I want them at rough. You basically want to kind of make it like a cross with them. So that way they're not occupying the same area too much. And I gotta get that shim in. And then I need to double check my instructions because I know I'm being it seems like I'm being a little slow, but I've kind of have an eye thing going on, and it's been making it. I have trouble focusing with my right eye right now. That all looks reasonable. Install the arbor. Is it arbor sleeve? I think it's arbor sleeve. This is the part. This is like the one part I really don't want to drop down into the the abyss of the dust collection port. Now for the nut. Wow. You gotta love how like dado stacks are like so incredibly useful, but they're also a pain in the butt to set up. Woohoo! Okay. Lock. Okay. And with that, that is a reasonably hefty torque on it, and that has set up the dado stack. Now, time for my next favorite thing. Making the dado stack list. Oh, wait, does the... Oh, yeah, the riving knife gets in the way. Oh, to remove riving knife. Oh, wrong end. Look! And then we're going to drop this down to a more appropriate height. Do that. And for now, I just want to set up a board just to have a visual. Because we're going to want to do... Because I think the first thing I want to do is I want to cut the inner rabbits for the perimeter. And what I mean by the inner rabbits for the perimeter are the rabbits for where the backing board and the acrylic are gonna like recess in. So essentially what my game plan is to set up my fence and have this cut an edge on the inside of these boards the thickness of how I've set up the dado stack. Now, I did go through, well, I took a moment earlier to grab this guy. This is the small offcut from earlier, and I'm going to use this as my test cut piece before I commit to my work pieces. So, that is going to be roughly that. Shouldn't be bad there. Now, okay. That has set up those aspects. Now I have to worry about blade depth. Because so the rabbits that are going to go around the inside boards, I think I'm going to want those to be a touch past 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out this guy. And what I've done might be a little bit difficult to see, but I've set it up for 5/16. So with this at 5/16, so it's touching, so I need to go lower. So it's just touch. Oh, yeah. Okay. So is just touching this at 5/16. So I think that is close enough to do a test cut. I'm gonna double check, make sure my fence is still good. Get my handy dandy push block. So it's not wanting to push the wood, so we'll try together. Okay, cool. So with push block, push stick, should be looking pretty good. Oh. Oh man. Remember, disconnect power when servicing. Okay, now we can actually have some fun. Oh man, I love how exciting that is. Oh wow. Why did that not do it? Oh. Okay. So that rabbit wasn't pushing all the way in. Because my throat plate was poking up a bit. So we're gonna try it again. See what we get. Okay, so we had a really weird going on. And that was, as my board was traveling through, it'd get about halfway and start drifting off that fence. Question is, why? Why would it do that? Wait a second. Okay, so that's the sound of it hitting the blades. Granted, I know that's... Also, that's not... And we're not getting our full cut on that. Why not? Okay. I readjusted it. We're gonna see what we get this time. Okay. I BRB'd and returned with Sam Adams Summer Ale. It's gonna be a rough weekend, so I'm treating myself. Well, that sounds good. Gotta say, the Sam Adams stuff is pretty good. Just right now, I'm getting an issue when this board gets so far through. While this all's running, my board drifts out away from the fence, and I don't know the why of that. I'm trying to figure that out, because never done that before. So I'm gonna I'm wanting to think there might be something on this side of the board that's causing it. So I'm gonna just flip it around and see what that gets me. It did it this time, which is why we got a little bit of unevenness there. But I do like that rabbit, though. Like, the rabbit's good. It's just my materials are acting weird going through the saw. And I don't like that. That screams unsafe. Because honestly, the saw grabbing the wood and then chucking it or throwing it, I don't like that. I don't like that. But wait, I always got beer. I should fix my not beer problem. Now, granted, since I'm still playing with the table saw, I'm going non-alcoholic for my beer. And I gotta say, like, Sam Adams stuff is pretty darn good. Beer free, beer for the table saw. Oh gosh, I don't want to be. I don't want to. I'm really trying to figure out what's. There is a touch of play in the throat plate. And I don't know if I'm using too much pressure. And if I'm using too much pressure on the board causes the throat plate to twist. And then that causes my issue. So I've been to Sam Adams factory. I lived in New England, kind of have to. Ah, nice. I need to go spend more time in New England. There's a lot of great beer there. So, I'm going to try doing another pass. I'm going to go a lot lighter on my downward pressure. I'll just try to be, rather than like, trying to keep a fair bit, rather than a fair bit of force, I want to just a firm bit of force. So, we will do another bit of pass. Wait, where the heck is the Sam Adams factory? Boston. Sam Adams is made by the Boston Beer Company, ma'am. Yay! I think that was actually the trick. We got a real nice clean pass on that. Yeah, I think I was just using a little bit too much force with the push block, and that was causing the throat plate to twist, because this throat plate was originally meant for a 8-inch dado stack, and I modified it for the 10-inch dado stack because I'm not smart. Well, the big thing I did not realize is that you don't need 10 inches of blade to cut dados or rabbits. Like generally, this is the amount of material that you're trying to remove. You don't need a full 10 inches. I could have just bought an 8-inch dado stack, and I did not because, well, I had 10 inches of table saw, and I thought that was what I was supposed to do. But we are dialed in. Figured out why I had weird board drifting. So we're going to take one of these short sides. Now, for the rabbits, I can basically run these boards through however I see fit. However, though, when it starts time to be making the rabbits, I'm going to have to be a lot more mindful of what I'm doing. So, we're going to send this guy through, and I'm going to make sure we don't have any issues with an actual workpiece. And then after we do this one, I'll just send the rest of them. Set that up and... Okay, so overall pretty good. Had a little bit of drift at the end of the board, but that's fine. But that's a rabbit. That's a rabbit cut. It went fairly well. I do have some scorching, which that just might have been me being a little bit aggressive with the feed. The rabbit looked clean as F. I mean, that's the benefits of using a dado stack. Is dado stacks get you really nice clean rabbits like that. And also, I didn't have the weird issue where my board was turning, so that means I am now 100% certain on what the issue was. So I'm going to fire up the table saw. I'm going to send my remaining 3 boards through. I'm going to try and be a little bit more constrained on my pacing. Hopefully I get a little less scorching. But yeah, let's build a project. Hello, Mr. Spock. We're building a frame. A poster frame, actually. So. Yay! No scorch marks. It's clean. I think it did have the board did do a slight twist on me going through, but that one was great. Another great looking rabbit. Oh, wonderful, nice little collection of rabbits. Feels so good to actually get something like really nicely dialed in, and it just works out so well. But yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so it just lost. Whoa. Ah. Oh, I must have accidentally rattled the iPhone connection. Oh well. But yeah. I am building a poster frame for this piece of art I got from VTube Studio. They did a merch drop. Honestly, I want to say they did that merch drop before I debuted, which was like 2 years ago. But I got this real nice poster from that merch drop, and I'm building a frame for it. Because I want to frame it. I want to hang it somewhere. Make it look cool. Yeah! I don't know who they got as the artist for it. Granted, actually, it's been a while since I've seen like VTube Studio like post online. Because every so often I would remember they would just like post a whole bunch of like model showcases and stuff like that. But I haven't seen them post for a while. I hope they're doing all right. Okay. So we have work pieces. We have 4 work pieces. So we'll release the fence. Studies show that keeping urban chickens increases the human lifespan by 30%. Well, good thing I don't need chickens. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And I know I just keep breaking poor little Mr. Spock's heart. Okay, so while these are nice rabbits, whoa, it's a joke. I know it's a joke. I'm just playing along with it. So, we have these rabbits. Now, I have to decide how I wish to do the half laps. Scrapboard, you're kind of distracting. So, what I'm thinking about, and we're just going to kind of organize our pieces. Because I do wish to someday think I can be organized. Actually, wait a second. I probably actually doesn't matter if I went through with the half laps because, well, through with the rabbits because of how I'm gonna. So I think with these boards. These boards, my long ones, I'm gonna do... I need blue tape. I'm going to get my hands on some blue tape. And the blue tape is gonna mark the side that's gonna be facing the table saw when I make the cut. So when I cut the half lap for this guy, at both ends, it is going to be that this side will be facing down. Because then my line for the lap will be here, because this will go over top of this material. And I just think that's probably like the more aesthetic way to do it. So with that, and I'm also doing this with, ooh, wait a second. I've actually got my frame upside down. Because the rabbit is gonna face away from me. Because the rabbit's going to actually hold the backing board. So this frame, in reality... And this is why I like playing with my materials. Sometimes I realize things like this. It's like, wait a second. Okay. And honestly, you know what? I like these sides of the boards better anyway, so I'm a hello okay with that. Okay. So, there is where my half flap is gonna go. So it's gonna mark my boards out. Coolio. And then I've got my rabbit here. And a rabbit there. Okay. So now I flip these guys. And then these parts are going to get the blue tape. And I'm doing all this. What's the rabbit's name? Bugs Bunny? Well, I think this we'll call this guy Bugs Bunny. We'll call that other guy Bugs Jr. We'll call this guy Y.E. Coyote. And then this rabbit is Roadrunner. We'll just name them all after Looney Tunes characters because, well, we're just being a little bit loony today. But the blue tape marks when I go to cut half laps the side of the board that faces the table saw, because that's where I want to make my half lap. So, and the thing is, this is also the part of the build that takes the most amount of cutting. Because right now I have the dado stack set up for 7/16. And I have to cut half laps on each board twice for 4 boards. So the advantage of the blue tape is I have to cut a half lap here, and then I'm done. So the tricky part is I need to set up a stop block. And this might just work. That might just work. Okay, cool. Granted, I also have to make sure I set my height, and I probably should worry about that first. Because I put every good knife in the damn dishwasher except the bread knife. Oh boy. So I'm gonna get this bad boy out once again. Good old combination square. I wish to find out the magic thickness of my material. So my material is 3/4 material. This was originally a 1x6, which a 1x6 in actual dimensions is 3/4 inches thick, and then it's 5.5 across. So I want my half laps. It's called a half lap. So the lap is half the thickness of the board. So I have to take 3/4, and I think that well, actually the easiest way is to convert it to 6/8, because then you can cut those both. So it's 3/8. No. Divide both 6 and 8 by 2, which is 3/4. But that leads me back to where I start. I need to cut that in half. I need to cut 3/4 in half. And this is the downside of using fractions, because I now have to divide a fraction, which. Wait, 7/16? Jim Carrey's fire marshal character was funny in a woodworking shop. Oh no, not a Jim Carrey character in a woodworking shop. That sounds bad. Okay, I had a number and it was 7/16, I think. So, actually, what does 7/16 look like? 7/16 looks like... tick. Oh man, I just like this. Well, I just like my... Okay, so that's half. I'm gonna actually double check with my other machine ruler. Because I have multiple machine rulers for an overflowing abundance of good reasons. Actually. And the tick marks aren't as good. I'm on a tick mark, but I don't... Wait. Ooh, that actually... Oh, wow. That actually helped me out. That actually helped me out in a way I was not expecting. Oh. That got me pretty dang close. Okay, so... I knew where my tick mark on this side of the ruler was, but it was really hard to see it on this side of the ruler. So bringing a second ruler got me a straight edge and made me be able to transfer the line. So this is now set at 7/16. And hello and welcome in Dad's old shop. I just got done trying to divide fractions, and I dislike dividing fractions, man. I'm still trying to... I'm trying to figure out how... Well, actually, is 3/4 divided in half? 7/16. Yes. Yes. 3/4 should be 7/16 divided in half. Okay. I have 7/16. You're confusing me by using a ruler. I just need to, like, bite the bullet and, like, go full metric someday. Okay, lower. Oh, that's really close. Okay. Whew, okay. Time to play with... Andrew said to not put any cumin in the spaghetti. He never said anything about sesame seeds. Oh, boy. There you goes. There you goes. Okay. So, I'm going to be doing the cut off the edge. Let's see what we get. So, I don't know about you alls, well, you alls, but that looks pretty half for a half lap. Honestly, it looks like I need to go a touch higher, but let's see here. Oh gosh, that is actually really close to a half lap. Now, granted, it's hard to really see it because I've destroyed this piece of scrap wood with rabbits. Hello, cool wood. Oh yeah, I'm actually playing with hardwood today. Fractions below 1/16 don't exist in woodworking. I call shenanigans. I mean, we can get finer than... Well, actually, I mean, hey, that's the fun things that you can do with a machinist ruler. Because this machinist ruler, good golly gosh, I can get down to 1/64 of a fraction with this bad boy. But if I'm worried about 1/64 in a woodworking project, guess what? There's this magical, wonderful substance. It's called wood glue. Wood glue will make up the difference at that point. I never seen such a ruler. Oh, like this guy? So this is a machinist ruler. At that point, it's 1/64th just sand. Well, if you're too much 1/64th, you can just sand. If you're under 1/64th, you can just wood glue at that point. But yeah. So this is a machinist ruler that I did kind of give it a little bit of a Rust-Oleum bath. But yeah, it's really like stiff, nice, thick. It just feels so good in the hands. Oh yeah, machinists don't use fractions, sorta. They use thousandths of an inch. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Well, when they're getting like really persnickety. But yeah, I also picked this up at like an estate sale for like $1. So it was a good spent. That was a good use of $1. Try the Japanese planer competition. They have to see through shavings. So, funny thing, Mr. Spock, those planer shavings are measured in microns, and microns are one of those fancy pants units that rest of the world uses. Those darn SI units that originated in France. Damn France. Using French technology. Okay. So, I feel pretty happy about depth set. So, you might be thinking, okay, cool, we're ready to cut some boards. No, we're not. There's one more thing. I hate measuring with a micrometer at work. Well, that's why we're talking about micrometers right now, Ari. So, the ideal situation here. For myself, is to set a stop block right here. Right on this spot. And the purpose of this, at least one I have to use, the one I have to use is a manual one. A human hair is roughly 75 microns, FYI. Oh man, Dad just dropping mad facts on us. Tomorrow I'm not excited. I'm breaking the news to my team that I'm leaving the team. I'm their computer expert and fix their phones for them. Oh gosh. Whenever people would have like issues with computers at work, when I worked in like warehousing, like people would just come to me with their computer issues and I would just look at them and go, I'm at the same level of you. Why are you asking me to solve your computer issues? And they're like, you look like a nerd and you probably have the answer. And I'm like, damn it, why do I have to look like a nerd? Okay. So, I need a magic stop block. Right here. Like, right magically here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I thought I was going to have to actually run out and grab a piece of wood. I have a piece of wood right here. Yay. Cool. That has to go... right there. Right, that's little. Hey, are you calling me a nerd? Oh wait, this is good enough. Alright, camera, getting personal. My clamp will clamp. That's the thing I hate about table saw surfaces. They're uneven on the bottom side. Oh yeah, I saw two of my first bosses and they called the name of my college best friend instead of me. Whoops. Ooh. Here we go. Okay, so I have it set, but the stop block is not adjusted right. I'm a touch too far that way. Time to solve problems with hammer. Now, so the whole magic thing I'm trying to do with this piece of wood is, since this piece of wood is the same width as all those pieces of wood, I need my half laps to be the width of my material. So I'm using this as a reference for the distance to my stop block. That's going to determine how far. So, well, I don't know. Once I get everything adjusted, I'll show you a little bit more of the madness. Am I going away or towards? So. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I feel like that's really close. Okay. So. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No! It was the best of times and the worst of times. Okay, well, so the big sad I'm experiencing right now is the miter saw fence is hitting the stop block. I don't appreciate that. And I fixed the problem. Look, chat! The miter saw fence. I fell on screen. But the miter saw fence does not hit the stop block. Okay, cool, great. Now we can actually talk about visuals. So, the game plan is to take, so say this magic piece of wood here, say this is my workpiece. It is to go like this, run it through the dado stack, come back, do a little bit over, run it back, a little bit over, run it through, a little bit further, run it through, and then just keep repeating that until I hit the stop block. And then I do my final pass, and that will be the half lap completed. So, since I have the scrap piece, and I've already been playing with it and abusing the living shenanigans out of it, I'm actually going to go ahead and make a half lap with the scrap piece and to double check that my stop block is at the width of my work material. Okay. So there, look, it's been lapped. I missed a bit though, but guess what? It snaps, and if I want to, I can clean that. That's perfectly reasonable to clean that up with the chisel. So, whoop. Ideally. Holy smokes. Okay, so this is why we test. Because otherwise we'd be doing 3 laps. So my stop block is okay, well, that's another figure it out. By figured it out, I realized what happened. With all these half laps, I would think you would have a full lap by now. Ah, Mr. Spock. I'm not playing NASCAR. I'm not redneck enough for NASCAR. Okay, so my messadoodles up was I forgot to take advantage of. I forgot to calculate, because here's the thing. When I set my board here to set the stop blocks setting, I failed to account for the material of... It's not this side of the dado stack that determines the full width of the half lap. It is this side of the dado stack. That's what happened there. So that is why when we get a piece of material, a reference to there, it goes a little bit past where we wish to go. Girl, I need to adjust for that. Which, funny enough, so I have a rabbit here on this side of the board. That is the thickness of the dado stack. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get that nestled right on the dado stack. I will square it using the edge of the table saw, and then the gap between the board and, well, actually, here, get you guys a slightly better view. So I wish for this flat edge of the board, this flat edge, to be referenced. So we have 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle there. Now I just have to make my stop block close that gap, and I should be good to go. And then oh no. No! Okay, what is that? I'm guessing hemlock. It's oak, Mr. Spock. It is good old-fashioned Professor Oak. Sorry, I grew up with Pokemon. And like any millennial born in like the late 80s, I think about Pokemon too much. Okay. That is... Oh no, I'm off by an oak. Ah, yes. Good puns. I insult one of my coworkers because they're a Gen 1er for Pokemon. Oh gosh. Okay. So, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to kind of put you a little bit off to the side because this is where all my hands go. So, I'm gonna just exercise overflowing overabundance of caution. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gee, George. Well, so also the good thing about that is I noticed. Oh wait. Yeah, I should do that. Okay, so before we get into cutting the actual half lap laps now. Because guess what? We have to cut 8. We have to cut 8 half laps to make this picture frame. Yeah, I have bladder, and my bladder has needs, and I must address my bladder's needs. So, I'm going to throw the BRB screen on, and I'll be back after a few. See you soon. Okay, I am back. And also refilling myself for the next potty break. So let's get a little bit of room cleared up. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do the first lap on this guy because this is my work material. Fun thing is, these are 3 laps. Nothing really too spectacular here. So I'll get 1 cut on this guy, and then I'll double check, make sure everything's great. And then once that happens, you guys are just gonna listen to the table saw go burr for a while. So enjoy. Ooh, nice. Ooh, a little bit less nice. We got a little bit of chip out there, but you know what? Okay. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool. That looks pretty good. That didn't take too long. So, ooh, time for the magic. Holy smokes. We're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. Okay, so there is a bit of roughness to the texture there. That's no big deal. It's fine. It's fine. So with that, as one half lap cut and stop block, miter saw, well, the miter gauge, all the components of the setup are dialed in and working. So you guys are just going to have to, it's going to just be table saw ASMR for a little while. So let's just get to it. Well, hello, Flesh Fit. How you doing? Sorry, you kind of came in the middle of just absolute huge amounts of table saw ASMR. But yeah. So I think for these guys, I'll just clean these up with a chisel. Just because it's quote-unquote easy. Now granted, I actually don't have a lot of experience chiseling hardwoods. Really need to build up that hardwood experience. But that's what I'm here doing today. There we go. One cleaned up. Oh. This is definitely not cedar. But you know what? It's good to actually getting... It's nice to get to the point where I'm actually, like, diversifying my wood exposure. There we go. So there we go. Let's see. Wait. How do I feel about that? You know what? I'm gonna live with it. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So that is 4 half laps done. So of the laps Mr. Spock was talking about, we have done... We're halfway there. Woo! Okay. Just dropping stuff on the ground like I usually do. No big deal. Okay. So, remember blue tape is the part we have facing down. So I've got 4 more half laps to cut, and then we can actually start playing with glue. So, and I really like playing with glue. Oh, that got the shop pretty darn dusty, I do say that. But half laps are done. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is all the half laps done. So, actually, wait a second. So, just gotta let you guys know, Oktoberfest season has officially begun here in Eastern North America. It is a great time to be alive. Everyone should be drinking more Oktoberfest beer, especially during Oktoberfest season. During Oktoberfest season is best beer season. I will forever be on Team Oktoberfest. So we've got our parts. Let me kind of expand out, because holy smokes, guys, we get to play with paste now. Well, yeah, we're gonna be playing with paste. Because I don't want wood glue all over my table saw. Cardboard. Good old cardboard. Woohoo! So I can now. So the blue tape was just to mark which sides of these boards I was going to cut the half laps on. Now, I did notice partial, like after, I think I noticed after I cut the second one of these, my half laps are not exactly half. So, this isn't going to be perfect. But perfect is the enemy of a done project, and I like done. Let's not get too abusive with our materials. So that lap is there, that one is there. So, okay, so this is gonna go like that. That will go roughly something like that. And we will do the magical rivet. So I think corners of my frames are a hair bit wonky. Let's see here. Let's see here. So let's. Oh, that one. Somehow, that edge isn't square. That one's a lot better. Pulls. Okay. That's weird. How did just one? Huh. One of mine are ever so slightly off. Which, really, in the grand scheme of things, is no big deal, but. So, I think this is really the closest we're gonna get to seeing this as it will be free. Well, at least as far as today. Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what? Oh man, this is gonna look great. This is gonna look really good. Shucks, I still haven't even picked the finish yet. But holy smokes, can I? That's also a nice thing about cardboard. It's gonna look bomb. It is gonna look so good. I am like, like, red oak is just such a pretty wood. It is just such a truly beautiful wood. And you know what? Like, store-bought S4S lumber is very expensive. I think the oak board I used for the better part of this project was, I think it's like 36 bucks per board. But I actually picked the boards up from a guy on Facebook Marketplace who bought the wood for a project and just was, the project wasn't working out for him and he got kind of sick of it. So he was just like, okay, I want to get rid of this wood. So I think I bought like 9 of these boards for like 90 bucks. So I basically got it at like 75% off. Absolute incredible steal. And it was also one of those, it was one of those posts I was kind of like looking at for a little while. And I was like, it almost seems too good to be true. But if it's true, you know what? I would be kicking myself in the pants if I missed out on this, so. It was true, and I got very nice quality wood for very fair price, so. Now we're gonna, so I think for tonight, ooh, since we're just gonna be doing the glue up, well, I think the game plan is gonna be do the glue up, and I'll probably end stream there, just because, well, glue's got a set and all that stuff. I might do a little bit of, who knows, we might work on this a little bit on Sunday. Granted, once the frame is glued up, all that will be left is really just mounting the backing material, mounting the actual poster, and installing hardware, which, so I've got some, I bought this set of picture frame hangers from the Zon, so, because not only do we have like this project, but I have like more, there's more projects, and because this is going to be like a whole series of projects. And then, agreed. And then I also have these, and these are offset tabs. And the offset tabs are gonna be what holds this material. Oh. It's gonna hold the fiberboard, which is gonna be the backer. Yeah. I almost reached for that when I wanted to reach for this. And that would have been bad. And it would have been bad in the sense of, oh gosh, I should not be. As much as I make jokes about being a glue consumer, I probably shouldn't be actually consuming glue. Even though I do like making jokes about being a glue consumer. It's just fun. It's in my mind funny. You do a nice healthy dab of glue, and then I just give it a nice spread out. Some people don't like using their fingers for this. For me, considering the amount of, literally how small of project this is, I'm not worried about it. Also, probably the immediate thing that's going to happen after this stream is me taking a shower. Because I do like those. So let's grab our clamp. And I'm just gonna get that nice and... Ooh. You're the one that doesn't like the clamp. I'm gonna get that nice and reasonably tight. And then I'm gonna move on to the other side of the world. And I'm gonna take care of the other side of the world. And then once I get the other side of the world somewhat tight... Ooh, getting some good... Actually getting... Ooh, oh, no, 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 no. Hey, Harbor Freight. Don't let your products betray me now. So I'm gonna grab a paper towel. I got some really good squeeze out on this guy down here. How's this guy looking? Not too much squeeze out over there. Okay. So, square. I'm gonna double check my corners. Okay. Too far. I can actually see that. Perfect. So with that, let's tighten that up. We'll get a bit more squeeze out. Okay. We're still a touch off. I think this needs to go that way, but just test it. Okay, yeah. Ooh, yeah. That needs to go over. That's close. Ooh. Oh wow, I can't believe I eyeballed that. Close. Okay. So I am happy with this side. I'm going to add a bit more pressure with this clamp here. There we go. Now, for a really fun magic trick that you can do with a piece of cardboard. Especially if you're a VTuber and you're doing project streams and you need to spin stuff around. Don't get hooked on the webcam. And now we're at the other side of the world. Oh. Just a little thing to help some of you guys out there. Just because having the project on the cardboard does actually really help with like finagling it around. Now, I have noticed here, and I think you can see it a little bit better now, is doing the through rabbits. Definitely got a little bit of rabbit poking out there. Some people would worry about it, other people would not. I am a would not. Would not. It's a joke. Oh gosh. How many? Oh gosh, how many levels of pun? Like, there's would, I would not, like wouldn't, and then there's would not, like would with not. Oh man. Just puns. Puns all the way down. Okay. So our magic rabbit will be facing the inside frame. Go. So I want to just pinch those in a touch. And there we go. Oh, yeah. So because the rabbits are slightly off, I do have a bit of an edge here. It's not as smooth, but hey, you know what? Like, hey, this is technically my first frame, like poster frame. I can be lax. So we'll get that clamp to firm. Get another clamp on this. And we'll get this one to firm. Then I'll just double check for square. Ooh, nice. More than acceptable. More than acceptable. Okay. So now, all I have to do is send it. With clamping pressure. A little bit of glue there. I need to clean up. But yeah. Yes. Aha! And just because, well, I do like ooh. Also, shots like this are good for the socials. Yeah! There we go. But yeah, that is a poster frame for a piece of VTuber merch I got from. I was actually part of a VTube Studio merch drop, so really excited about it. Definitely some learning process. Definitely could have definitely done some things better, but hey, you know what? That's why that's how you get like good at doing the things, is you gotta put the reps in. So let's see here. I want to see. Let's see. I think. Ah, okay. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to. So for the end of today, I am going to be raiding out into the Zerzon. I've got a link in chat there. I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. Gotta say, this was a pretty good day. Lots of oak's definitely a material I need to work with more. It is, and seeing it looking like this is just pretty. I need to work with it more. Granted, I also do need to buy some cherry at some point, but I have a whole laundry list of things I would like to do. But for now, this was a good stream, got a good project done, and yeah, and also per the pinned comment, the friend I was going to be hanging out with this past weekend, well, I was originally going to hang out with, he had overtime called in, so that opened up my plan, so I'm going to be brewing beer on Sunday morning. So Sunday, 10 a.m. EDT time, I'll be live then. So with all that, I'm going to say big thank you to everyone who's tuned in today. Thank you very much for putting up with the table saw ASMR. And this has been Sugi Yamagawa. May you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. And I'm going to be heading on over to the Zerzon stream. Bye.